Well, right now is definitely a great time to be out walking rows and scouting your fields for various crop diseases, pest pressures, and more as we hit the home stretch of the 2025 growing season. Joining us for an agronomic conversation, LG Seeds agronomist Mark Grunmeyer in Nebraska is with us here today on the program. Mark, it is great to connect with you. Hope all is well.
All is well here, Jesse, and appreciate the opportunity.
I should ask you, how is the crop conditions? How are things looking in your area there covering eastern Nebraska, Mark?
Things look very well from the road. Everything looks spectacular. We had that hot blast, high humidity, high temperatures, so 10 days ago or so, and that caused a little bit of tip back in some areas. So it's a little deceiving when you look, but when you start peeling some ears back, you see a little more tip than what you want. But overall, I think we're sitting in a pretty good spot.
Well, that is good to hear. And, as I kind of alluded to, now is that time scouting so important. So let's talk about that. What are some diseases that we need to be watching out for and looking for here as we work through the month of August, Mark?
So this year we've got some southern rust pressure that's moved in. We've also had some tar spot kind of scattered out across the eastern half of the state. Those are the two main culprits. There's been some gray leaf spot, but the two big ones would be southern rust and tar spot. We got a good education last year on southern rust and how aggressive that can develop. August was a tough month for a lot of hybrids, a lot of fields. Heavy pressure, tar spot came in later in part of August and definitely caused some yield hits in quite a few areas.
Well, and to your point, yeah, Southern rust, seeing that work its way farther and farther to the north. Tar spot's been around a few years. Both of these disease pressures are relatively new in the grand scheme of things over the last several years. And so, from a management standpoint, what are we learning about trying to combat both of these and try to maintain as much yield potential as possible, Mark?
Well, I think one of the keys is not pulling the trigger on a fungicide application too soon. I know there's been a lot of planes flying in the area, a lot of fungicides applied relatively early. I guess the risk with that is we run out of residual, and the disease is still developing and can move in and cause a need for a second application. And I'm sure at current market conditions, nobody's really too excited about spending money on a second application if they don't have to.
And I know, thinking about the cost of inputs and more, and to your point, looking at that fungicide application timing and more, it's, there's a lot of decisions that need to be made, but all in all, doing your best to maintain as much of that yield potential that is out there. I know that is so crucial because a lot of areas of the Corn Belt, by the talk of things, do have a pretty strong yield potential this growing season.
Exactly. I mean, when corn is sub $4, every bushel counts. You don't have that fudge factor when corn's double that. So every bushel's needed. And I guess I tell all of my guys, all my customers that you start to get into that 10-day residual window or 14-day residual window of your fungicide. Get out and look. Make sure we don't have a reinfection or a need to do something else, and also know where your maturity stage is at. If we can race it to the end without an application, that's great. But we've seen last year where we got 2 weeks, 3 weeks to go till black layer. I'll be okay. And then southern rust just came up, flared up hard, and caused some stock issues and ultimately some bushels lost too.
Any other disease pressures, pest pressures, anything else that you've been tracking throughout this growing season in your area, Mark?
It seems like we've had a little more corn rootworm adult pressure. See a little more feeding on those bottom leaves. Indicates that the beetles emerged before the silks were out. See quite a few flying around yet. So last year we had minimal pressure. This year a little bit more than that. So I think that may cause some insecticide applications in conjunction with the fungicide application to kind of help keep those numbers in check.
Well, I know thinking about scouting, of course, obviously we're nearing the home stretch here of this growing season, but what about 2026? I think it's important that producers take notes and think about all the different issues they may be faced here throughout this growing season to help influence decisions for next year, right, Mark?
Absolutely. The best time to start your scouting schedule is shortly after planting. Kind of keep an eye on emergence. If we've got any early season weed escapes, get our timing for our post herbicide application timed out right, and then just keep an eye on disease as we move through the growing season. For eastern Nebraska, a lot of irrigation scheduling as well. This year, not so much. I don't think there's been too many circles made with the pivots, but we keep that scouting schedule up regularly all the way till the end. And then once we get into black layer and beyond, we can kind of monitor our stock quality and prioritize which fields we need to harvest first, so we can hopefully get everything picked while it's still standing up straight.
Mark, any other final thoughts you'd mention about this growing season? Anything else you would add or reiterate for folks?
I guess I would say never stop looking. You don't want to have a surprise. Nobody likes those, especially when they're not good.
Well, and I know if folks have questions, they want to take a look at various products as they think about 2026 decisions and so much more. I'm sure reaching out to their local agronomist, retailer, or lgseeds.com. A lot of great ways to get in touch, isn't there, Mark?
Absolutely. We've got a tremendous staff of DSMs, very knowledgeable on products. Sales agronomists, same way. More than happy to help all the growers work through whatever situations, issues they have, because we've got a lot of great solutions to take care of that.
lgseeds.com for more. And with that, agronomist for LG Seeds in Eastern Nebraska, Mark Grunmeyer, thanks for joining us on the program today. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, Jesse. Greatly appreciate it as well.